Now that we've got our cake set in the fridge and we have our buttercream made, we're going to crumb coat the cake. The reason for crumb coating is to make sure that we hold in all the crumbs as we're decorating, and so you won't have any crumbs on the outside of your top coat of buttercream. You just put a thin layer on your cake all the way round. You can take your skewers out now and ice the top of your cake. Once you finish crumb coating, put your cake back in the fridge just to set for 10 to 20 minutes, and then we can do the top coat. We're now going to top coat our cake. The cake's been sitting in the fridge for a while, so it's nice and firm. We just want to put a nice, very thick coat of buttercream on top of the crumb coat, which we're going to scrape back. Making sure that you cover the cake all the way down to the bottom of the board. Now that we've covered the outside of the cake with a thick layer of buttercream, we're ready to scrape around the edge with a scraper. If you don't have a scraper, you can actually use a metal ruler, but whatever tool you use needs to be metal because you need to heat it up in a little hot bath of boiling water. So what we do is we put the scraper in the hot water, dab it on the sponge to get any excess water off, and we scrape around the cake, scraping the excess into the bowl. So we'll just scrape around the edge and put the excess in the bowl. This gets a lovely smooth finish on the cake. If you see a spot where you didn't have enough buttercream, there's nothing stopping you from putting a little bit more on and then re-scraping. We haven't put the buttercream on the top of the cake yet because we want to get the sides done before we do that. You don't want to wipe your tool dry, you just want it to be drip free. So still wet but hot and drip free. So turn your cake as you go. Now we have a couple of little holes around the bottom here and some there. So we're just going to fill it. We also have a spot here which doesn't have enough. Now that we've got the sides done, we're going to put the buttercream on the top. If the buttercream is sticking to your spatula, just dip it in the hot water. You'll find it smooths on the buttercream a lot more easily. This is the bowl here. It's a baking dish. I've just got boiling water in it for the spatula and the scraper. I'm just smoothing the top off as much as I can. I'm just going to scrape around the edge again. And then once we get to this stage where we've got everything standing up and there's a little ridge here, just wipe across the top and wipe it in towards the center of the cake. And you'll be able to get it nice and flat. You can do this with the spatula or the scraper. I prefer the scraper myself. But listen, if it's not perfect on the top, don't worry, we will be decorating the top. Most of the time it'll have sprinkles or lollipops and a cake topper in there.